it's all just going a little bit. Oh, okay. It's all a bit chaotic. I'm only 8 minutes late, maybe 8 or 9. Oh, okay. So, is there a purpose to today's stream? No, not really. This is just a TrampCast Hangout. So I haven't even remembered to give myself a thumbs up. I'm that Oscar's on the ball here right from the start. Hello, mate. Today is just to mark the fact that tomorrow is a big day for me. Today is a signpost, I guess, towards what is to come. Now I'm in the middle of editing 2 or 3 videos, and to be honest, it's not going that well. It's not going that smoothly. I don't know whether I'm going to get them out on time, or any of them out on time. But tomorrow, 11 o'clock in the morning, is the moment that the friend I was staying with had enough of me and said, fuck off you go. She gave me a couple of weeks warning, you know, get your bank sorted, get your money, do whatever, or be gone. And we had to be gone. And we stepped down those steps from the first floor, second floor for Americans, but you know. We stepped down the steps, down to the pavement, turned right, went to the park, and lived in the park for 2 months, almost, a couple of weeks short. Then got moved on from the park and ended up here. And the rest is kind of history. We've stayed here ever since. So it's not 3 years in this field, but it is 3 years homeless. And I guess that's something, isn't it? It's certainly a milestone that I want to mark. Even if it means coming out and sitting while the flies are still around and having to put the parasol up. Sun's quite low, but the sun is actually still there. Cicadas are out. They've got another hour or so. As soon as the sun goes down, they've got 15 or 20 minutes once the sun goes down. It's quite itchy at the minute. But I just wanted to mark the day, mark the idea, mark, I don't know. I'm not going to go too long because my friend Scruff Dog usually does a show on a Friday night. So as soon as he goes live, or before he goes live, I'll be off. I'll maybe point you to him if I can. Not easily. SCRU single F DOJ. No, DOG. My G's and J's. Fuck. It's like I'm a fucking imbecile. What temper is it there? Probably about the same as you've had from what you're saying. We will have been in the early 30s. Unlike you don't stay most of that overnight. I think last night it fell to 27. I would expect that in the UK it would get a little bit cooler than that at night. Here it doesn't move much. And hasn't for months. We're in the tropical nights. I'm waiting for that shit to end. We had a couple of cooler nights and I thought we'd break the record and dip below, but we didn't get below 20, so they still class these as all tropical nights. Let me show you the real star of the show. She's over there, look, she's sat. Hey Tina, say hello. Say hello. She's not going to talk. She's busy occupied with food, folks, like anybody sensible should be. I haven't eaten for 2 days. I've just brought some ingredients out ready to make something tonight. I'm gonna make something that looks a little bit bolognese, but probably isn't. I've got a bottle of gazpacho, which is meant to be a cold soup. It's tomato based, so that'll do. I'm gonna fry an onion. I'm gonna throw that in. I've got a bit of piri piri to spice it up a little bit. I've got a cup of soup, a little bit of remnants of a mashed potato mix, and I've got some pasta. So that's, you know, I guess it's what Future Canoe would call a struggle meal. It's one of those. It'll feel much more luxurious than it actually is. It's basic food, isn't it? Basic. There's going to be an onion, there's going to be a tomato base, some spiciness. The mashed potato will thicken it up a little bit, and pasta. I eat like a king. Sometimes. Really, I missed my mouth. It's dripping down. I tipped the can up before my mouth was there. Even that's warm. Not hot, like some have been recently. But that's warm beer. I guess while I'm cooking the pasta, I can put a pot of water on next to it and make coffee. My Russian, I'm not going to say friend, the Russian guy hasn't been back in 4 or 5 days. Might have abandoned me. Might have got arrested, might have moved on. His coffee pot's here though. His stovetop espresso maker, or whatever you'd call it, is here. And his coffee. Maybe I'll try that one day. It's not really my kind of thing, but maybe. Let's have a look in chat. It's just Oscar. There's only Oscar. I've taken you all by surprise by coming on an unusual time, on an unusual hour, and without much notice. There aren't many of you here. And there's only 1 thumbs up. Really, guys? Really? I entertain you so little, I only get 1 thumbs up. Wow. I thought somebody might have just snuck one in there as I was drinking, just to make me feel better. No. No, you're not doing it. I think look at her, she's finished her food. She's actually, she's not just finished it, she was trying to throw the bowl over. She was trying to... Hey babe, you're not happy? Tina's not happy. Hey babe, come say hello to Oscar. Come say hello to Oscar. Come on, he's the only one in chat. Oscar will say hello if you come here. Come on. She's not tied up. She's just, a lead's just dragging behind her. Come and say hello. Come on. Hey. Nom 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 nom. Daddy needs a cuddle. No, food and drink are more important. She's not interested in me when she's got food and drink. Bugger. Sod her. In half an hour, when she wants treats, where's she going to be? She's not going to be over there, is she? She's going to be over here wanting treats. Treats. Oh, yeah, I have them. Oh, yeah. Come on, man. Come on. Be my girl. Nom, 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 nom. No, she says, bugger you. You made me do that. I've been asleep, honestly guys, I've been asleep on and off all afternoon. From, not even afternoon, from like 10 or 11 this morning. I'd wake up, check the phone, and 25 minutes has gone, and wake up again and an hour's gone. Tina, it's okay. They're way off in the distance, girl. It's not a problem. Hey, if you need to eat somebody, I'll tell you when. It's okay. I got the controls. It's okay. I'll tell you when. If you need to eat the bad people, I'll give you the command. It's okay. I got this. She can't walk. She tries to pick fights with big dogs and things, and it's like totally ridiculous that even when she had legs, they would have won. And she sat there on her ass, unable to get up off the ground, and still. You still get pestered by the brats. The kids throwing stones. I haven't seen them all summer. Not since. It's over 2 months ago now, isn't it? Maybe 3. I haven't seen them. Was that before? I think that might have been before I got this tent. That might be 4 months ago. No. I think they've gone home bragging. Hey, we threw stones at the tramp, and the dad's just gone, you fucking idiot. He'll throw stones back and you'll be dead. I think that's what's happened. I honestly did. There was one kid who was part of 3 different groups that were coming and throwing stones. So I would say he was obviously the ringleader. And I think one or other of the kids has said, hey, we were throwing, Freddie was telling us to throw stones at this tramp, and somebody said to Matey Boy's dad, hey, you guys been throwing stones at the tramp, he's been throwing stones back, he's going to chase them and hit them. I think they learned not to do that. Sativa breeder, I'm going to guess Martin. I think you're a Martin. Hello. It was a couple of months ago. I think it's a bit more than that, but yeah, they're living in peace. It was quite harrowing at the time. The size of the rocks they were throwing and how close they were coming, what they were throwing, and the damage that they did. When they overshot and it landed on this table and broke plates and things. And for the next week, every day at like 4 or 5 p.m, I was just waiting for them. And they never came back. I'm guessing because I gave chase and I threw stones back at them. I mean, I missed, I was nowhere near, but I wouldn't have cared if I'd hit. I mean, that would have just been fucking fine with me. That would have just been Sod's Law. You throw stones at me, I'm going to throw stones back. You throw punches at me, I'm going to throw punches back. That's just me. Nothing's going to change there. People can try and talk me out of it. Farmer tells me I'm in the wrong and they're just kids and let it go. But if you let it go, they'll come closer and closer and the rocks will get bigger and bigger until damage is done. Either to me, to Tina, or to the tent itself. Tina, quiet. It's just people walking past. Leave them alone. Very gay. Oh, yeah. Not against it. Just leave me out of it. There goes another 3 subscribers. Where are my folks? You've been a quiet bunch today. It is Martin. Okay, self-defense. Yeah, it is. It's a form of truculence. It's a forward, a preemptive self-defense at times. But yeah, I don't see why I should sit back and let them be throwing rocks and stones and just no. It's like when the guy that was dumping the headboard and the bed 6 months ago, whenever that was, and he threw rocks at me in the middle of the night and I just walked at him. If I'd got to him, if I'd got there before, if he'd run out of rocks and if he'd not run away before I got there, I'd have smacked him fucking big time. I was letting rocks just fucking come past me while I just marched at him. If I'd got there, he would have been hurt. One of us was going to end up in hospital, and I was fairly sure it wasn't going to be me. And I'm letting rocks. There was only 2 or 3. He wasn't that fast at throwing them, but he threw like a pussy. He missed by miles. Got in his van and reversed and fucked off. But you are allowed to. This was where school teachers always got me. You're in trouble because you threw the first punch. Fuck off. That's not the law. Fuck off. Just no. I'm not the one that's in trouble because I threw the first punch. He made it obvious he was about to smack me, but he was too chicken shit, so I got in first and kicked him or smacked him first. That whole you threw the first punch, that's effeminate. That's lady logic. That's girl logic. That's not how the fucking world works. That's not what the law says, so you can fuck off with your school rules that are different to the law of the land. The law of the land is dominant. The law of the land out fucking powers your silly lady rules in school. The guy said he was going to hit me, the guy pulled his fist back, I smacked him. That was me at school. I was the guy, waited, and then when it became obvious, smack! And hopefully, one smack was enough. Sometimes you have to do a couple of jabs to get him into position, get his defences down so the proper smack can land. It's not. I was never idiotic enough to think one smack will do. But anything else was lining up the one smack. And then the teachers, you see the first punch, you're the one in trouble. No, fuck off, shut up. Just no, them's not the rules. Your rules are not my rules. You're a silly fucking dinner lady or a school teacher. That doesn't fucking matter to me. Law of the land or nothing. Yeah, same thing. I don't care, man, woman or child. If you're striking out at me, I'm going to fucking hit back. I always did. I hit girls after they hit me. I hit women if they hit me. It's not like my proudest moment. Don't want to do it, don't want to be in that position. But if you don't want to get hit, then don't hit me or don't line up and try and hit me. Spanish police back Spaniards, absolutely. Well, historically they did. Actually, if you watch the trouble in Torrevieja, was it called? About an hour south of here. Last week or the week before, Spanish police were on the side of the let's call them asylum seekers and be polite. We all know they're not asylum seekers, but they're claiming asylum. So if it was me, I would implement the laws that they have in Turkey and Hungary. If you want to claim asylum in Poland or Hungary, did I say Turkey? Poland or Hungary? You have to do it in an embassy in another country, in your country. You don't get to travel through 3 safe countries and claim asylum. Asylum is something you claim in the first countries which is safe. So what we should do in Britain, he says as if he's in Britain, kick them back to France. Then it's up to France. What France should do is kick them back to whatever country they came to from there. Morocco, Libya, Tunisia, whatever the fuck. What the Tunisians should do is say, where did you come from? Back until there's no safe country. Back until you're the country next to where they're coming from. Tina, shush. And then they can stay in a neighbouring country. A country that probably should have the same values as them. The same religions, the same culture. Probably. But those guys know better. There's a reason Saudi Arabia isn't accepting any of these guys, despite them having common culture and religion. There's a reason. They know that they're more fucking trouble than they're worth. They don't want them. Why are we taking them in? They'll be activated. Yeah, they're like a supercell. They're an embedded. Certainly, I'm not saying they all are, but the argument can be made. The fact that it's so many single men, the age of the men. If your country's in a civil war, pick a side and go fight in the fucking war. Wives and children leave the country, and maybe they bring men with them if the men don't want any part of it. But if you're not a part of a family, why are you leaving a country when there's a fight to be had? Decide what side you're on and go and fight. That's the manly way. My country's in a civil war. I pick up pitchforks or a scythe, whatever comes to hand, and you go and you organise and you fight for your side. You want a victory for the side that you're on. You don't travel 6,000 miles to some nice country elsewhere and then demand that country become the shithole that you left. It's a strange world. I don't want to get too much into the politics, but and religion and politics. But yeah. We're too soft. I think we have memories of the Second World War, and we think we didn't do enough to help when people were claiming us or trying to claim asylum early on. We think we didn't do enough, and therefore a proportion of the public are overdoing it with wanting to be nice to people, but the people they don't have our best interests at heart. If you invite 1,000 people into your country and 20% of them are rapists, or they're 20 times more likely to be rapists than the rest of your countrymen, I've no idea what the percentages are amongst Brits. It's a terrible crime. Not making excuses for Brits that I would chop their dicks off, chop their balls off. Death penalty if it's clear. If you've done multiple rapes and we know it and there's no argument about it, if the evidence isn't up for fucking dispute, death sentence. I've got no problem with that. British or I'm not bothered what colour your skin is, death sentence. One rape, it's kind of arguable, isn't it? Is she making it up, is it not? Well, on the balance of probabilities will go this way. But why would there be a second claim or a third claim or a fifth claim? And if there's DNA evidence and it's clear cut and it's definitely you, either chop the balls off or chop the head off. I don't care which. Chopping the head off is probably cheaper. There's no imprisonment afterwards. There's no. Hola, buenas. Hey. Nice people walking past, Tina. Shush, shush, shush. Leave the peoples alone. Nice people said hello. That's nice. It's nice. They said hello. Dog. So yeah, there's that whole. I mean, it sounds. I don't want to appear racist, but I'm getting to the point where I'm past caring about appearing racist. If you watch Charlie Veitch, however you pronounce his name, he goes into the centre of Manchester and there's a big crowd and they all hate Britain. They hate the English. And they'll stand there chanting the fact that they hate the English. Balaclava boy that got put on the deck doesn't want to be in England, doesn't want to be surrounded by the English, doesn't want us to be able to be English. Fuck that guy. Fuck that group. Fuck that gang. Fuck that shit. You want to call me racist? I'm past caring. I was called racist and sexist and all of the ists and all of the phobes because I didn't like a Star Wars film a few years back. You think I care now that a bunch of people that are raping children, you think I care that I'm going to get called racist because I say I don't like that and they should go away? Maybe they should have their dicks lopped off, their balls chopped off, maybe they should have their heads chopped off. You can call me all the fucking racist you want. Don't care. Now, the irony, the juxtaposition of the fact that I'm in Spain and I'm an illegal immigrant in Spain. I entered the country entirely legally, but circumstances are such that I am now illegal here. I'm aware of it. I know it. I acknowledge it. I agree the Spanish should have like deported me or got rid of me. I would have welcomed them doing so on the proviso that I could bring one or two belongings with me and that you're not just, you know, putting me in the back of a van in handcuffs and shipping me off. I own certain belongings. The main one, and I don't like to call her a belonging, but legally, in law, if you get deported, I don't think that you get to take your dog with you. I don't think you get to take your dog with you. And I need my doggie. As long as she's alive, I have to have my doggie darling. I will move heaven and earth to be with her. Heaven help anyone who gets in between me and her. As to the cop that kicked her that time, I'm coming for you, pal. When I'm in a position to, I'm going to request records of who was here that day. And I'm going to hunt you down, each and every one of you, until I get the one. I am the oncoming storm. Okay. I didn't mean to be making threats online. I just accidentally did. Chat, somebody said something. I saw a thing. A storm is coming, trust me. I think we are on the cusp of Matey Boy's rivers of blood. And they're not going to be Englishman's blood. We are many. They are few. They're taking the piss. And sooner or later, we're going to snap. Predicting. Not advocating. I'm not saying it should happen, it must happen. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm not saying you're going to do it. I'm not saying you should do it. For the YouTube censors that watch this after, I am predicting, I don't think it's going to be 5 years. I don't think it's going to be 3. The touch paper, it feels to me, using a firework analogy, it feels to me that the touch paper is lit, and it's going to be soon. It could be a lot sooner than people would think. But I foretell Brits running through the streets being the ones with the machetes and the knives and the whatever, and Abdullah being the one on the receiving end. At the minute when we watch them, it's usually there's a lot of people of African descent running through the streets with machetes, trying to look big and brave. The problem with someone with like a machete or a sword or whatever, they concentrate on the one weapon. They're actually fairly easy to disarm if you can get in close and tackle them. A little bit of training. There are courses. I mean, there are YouTube videos. You don't want to be running in where angels fear to tread. But if you find yourself in that situation, they tend to be all about the one weapon. Monitor it, block the arm that's carrying it. You neutralize the weapon, and then you can kick and elbow and punch and do what you want with the with the idiot that was holding it. They're all about they're obsessed. They're concentrating on the one weapon. They're not strategic fighters. It doesn't take much to disarm someone who's obsessed with the one weapon. A little bit of training. Like, I was a security guard once upon a time. Did a couple of weeks. Let's say we did a couple of weeks training. I'm not the SAS. I'm not. You know what I mean? It's watch the person who waves something around, a machete or whatever, a knife, a long knife, whatever they've got. The person who waves it around, look at it. They're obsessed. They've only got that. They're going to forget to punch with the other hand when you come in close, because they're all about that one weapon. Kick, knee, elbow, punch, strangle, get them on the ground and step on their throat. Do whatever you need to fucking do, but make it stomp on the throat once you've got them down. You don't want them getting back up. You got to finish the job. Another piece of advice: if ever you have to stab somebody, if ever you're in that position, never stab once, stab multiple times. 3 is kind of your minimum. A lot of people will, if they've got a penknife or something and they stab once. Not enough. Stab, minimum. The spleen and the liver are your target, so you're going lower trunk, you're going just above the waist. You don't want people getting back up. You've entered into a life and death situation. Make it be what it is. Make it be life and death. Make it be that in your favour. Onwards, folks. A storm is coming. It don't end well," said Martin. You're right. I did bodyguard training and work. I looked after Emlyn. Oh, Emlyn Hughes. I remember Emlyn with little Mr. Squeaky. Loved him. Liverpool player. I remember Emlyn. And one of the originals on, was it called A Game of Sport? You know the one. It was Emlyn Hughes and Bill Beaumont for many, many years. Oh, I loved them. I was a Liverpool fan, so Emlyn was my guy anyway. Sam Fox and Linda Lusardi, page 3 girls. Wow. And then Dirty Dan. Okay, Leslie Grantham. Believe he's no longer with us. Wasn't he caught? Pauline Fowler, in real life, whatever her name was, she caught him jerking it in front of a computer on the EastEnders set. He was a murderer, wasn't he? He was a taxi driver. He murdered a taxi driver. Oh, yeah. Emlyn was a guy. Yeah, oh yeah. Not a nice guy. Really? Not a nice guy. Oh, you surprised me. He died quite a few years ago. I thought he seemed like a lovely man. Everyone had... No, I never saw anybody have a bad word to say against him. Okay. But then again, if you're working there with him and for him, you're going to have an inside line. Tina, no. It's just a family walking past. Tina? Oi! It's a family walking past. Leave them alone. We'll give them a wave in a second, yeah? Tina, leave them alone. Shush, shush. Hey! Quiet. No, they look away. Shush, shush. Leave the nice people alone. 2 women and 3 kids, and Tina's off on a... No, I think it's a pushchair. Wheels. Ruedas. Wheels. In a minute, I'm surprised she's not barking at the bus that just pulled up. Tina, bus. Defend me from the bus. No, not today. Let me see if I can get her to turn around. Hey, Tina. Defend me from the bus. There she is, look. Hey, babe. Defend me from the bus. Normally, actually has a real thing about buses, but today we're not doing it. Okay, folks, 8 people here, 5 thumbs up. I thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. It's a little bit. I didn't. Here's the thing. I had trouble creating the stream, and I don't think I've pushed it out on Twitter and YouTube. I haven't done the alerts or the whatever the notifications are called. So you're all a little bit late. You're a bit slow. You're a bit. Not you're slow. How can I reword that? Quick, help! You're slow to arrive. You're arriving late. The alerts didn't go out because I didn't put them out. That's my fault. The original point of today's show is that I'm on the cusp of being 3 years homeless. Tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, will mark 3 years homeless. I'm going to try and put a video out. I've got one where I'm reacting to my own original video, my first ever video, which wasn't made 3 years ago yesterday. It's a few months away, I think. It's only two and a quarter, something like 2.25 years, a lot less than 2.5 anyway. But I'm reacting to my first video. And I may try and do a reaction to my first live stream. Now that's 2.5 hours in its own right. If I start reacting to it, it's going to become 4 or 5 hours. That will have to be released in bits, in pieces. I haven't even started yet, but over the course of the next week, I just want to mark the passage of time. I'm considering reaching out to the lady that I stayed with that eventually had enough of me and asked me to leave when I ruined the friendship. I outstayed my welcome. I'm considering reaching out to her to see if I can get my belongings back if she hasn't thrown them out already. Fully understand if she has. It's been 3 years. But I wasn't well placed to have those belongings myself. I was months in the park and months in this field before I had a tent. Even when I did have a tent, you'll see in the video tomorrow, it was just 6 broom handles and a tarpaulin. I didn't have transport, I didn't have friends, I didn't have a way of getting things here. There are things there that I would find useful. I do have a computer there, an Intel NUC, which was called Next Unit of Computing. It's a low-powered computer, but it's 5 inches by 5 inches. What's that? About 12.5 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters by 2 inches by 5 centimeters deep. And it would plug into the TV here, and I would have a computer. I think I've got a keyboard somewhere. I might need to buy a mouse. I'm thinking of reaching out to her just to see if she's still got them. She might have thrown everything away. I don't expect to rekindle the friendship or anything. Where I definitely outlasted the friendship. But it's quite poignant for me thinking back to the day when she said, well, 2 weeks earlier, when she said, "You've got 2 weeks, get it sorted or get out." And there was no way to get it sorted, so I stepped down. I went down those steps, me, my dog, a hold-all, a bag on my shoulder, and 1 bag in my hand, and off we went to be homeless in Torrevieja. You find out who your true friends are when you need help. Yeah, I mean, I've told the tale about the guy that I used to live with for 3 years, and I contacted him and said, "Hey, can you look after some of my stuff? I'm going to be homeless, but maybe you can look after my stuff." And I had every expectation he'd say, "Hey, don't be homeless, come and stay in the spare room. It's yours until you get sorted." That's not what he said. He came back to me a few days later and said, "It's all your own fault, you're your own worst enemy, you're a dick, and it's all your own fault. Goodbye and good luck." Okay. Thank you, friend. And now he turns up here wanting me to help him. Young children, they don't want Tina barking. No barking, Tina. Hola. Tina, quiet, quiet. See? The nice people wave and acknowledge you. Hail, hail fellow traveller well met. Empty hand, no weapon, I mean you no harm. That's what a wave means. Sometimes we need people to kick us out. I was homeless in the early 90s for 2 years, nobody would help, but in truth it was my fault. I had hit rock bottom before I could rise up. Kind of disagree, but kind of agree as well at the same time. It's situational. So for example, someone who's drinking too much or doing drugs too much, someone who the phrase you used was hitting rock bottom, sometimes they need that jolt, but sometimes that's not you, and sometimes you just need help. You need a helping hand, and if nobody helps, you circle down the plug hole to the bottom, down the drain kind of thing. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'm not going to make an absolute in either direction. Certainly in the case of drink and drugs, substance abuse, I guess would be the coverall term, wouldn't it, nowadays for that. Certainly in those cases, hitting rock bottom can be a thing. Sometimes you're just caught by circumstance. What do you do? Your bank decides you're not you and you can't have your money anymore. There's no shocking back to reality from an organization taking your money, saying you're not you and you can't pay your bills. There's no what's the shock, what's the change that you can make to make that right. I don't know. It's well, circumstances differ, yeah. Shocked you back into some kind of normality. Stopped smoking weed and drinking. Yeah, you see, it's a substance thing. If you go too far and concentrate on getting life back on tracks, yeah. Situational. I'm not going to make any judgments either way, but yeah. My case isn't your case. Your case isn't my case. But yeah, I can see how that can be a thing. People slapping you in the face and saying, wake up, you know, it's you're doing it wrong. But sometimes you're not doing it wrong, and it's the world that's done you wrong. For anyone, I see there's 12 people out there watching. For anyone who doesn't know the full story, TrampCast 001, my first live stream ever, TrampCast 001. That's the full story. My upbringing, my background, my education, my employment history, my everything. I'm being eaten alive by flies down here, folks. It's that time of night on a day that's that time of year. The sun's about to go down behind buildings. In half an hour it'll be behind the buildings. Another half hour after that it'll be down and we'll be into proper dusk, headed for night. Then the flies will disappear a little bit. At the minute I'm covered in them. Tina's snapping at them. I don't know if you can hear her jaws. She's snapping at them, little lady that she is. Yeah, anyway, let's go back. I wasn't addicted or heavy user either, it was just you. Yeah, I mean, we can all fall into bad ways, bad habits, bad routines. And sometimes, you know, a slap in the face, a kick in the teeth, a push or a shove no, you can't stay with me anymore. This is going nowhere. This is going downhill. Get out. Sometimes that's the awakening that you need to reassess and rejudge. My situation isn't your situation. I would assert that I was done bad by my bank, and still am being. I'm waiting for I want a financial journalist to pick up the story and run. Not just a journalist will make me out to be the biggest bastard on the planet. You know, they'll turn it into isn't he a bad guy? But a financial journalist can look at it and can say the bank did wrong there. They shouldn't have done it that way. They should have done this. They should have done that. Maybe a Martin Lewis or somebody can, money saving expert, isn't it? Maybe someone like that can help and can step in and I'll jump through the hoops to prove that I'm me. They've blocked access to my bank account on the basis of we're protecting the owner of the bank account because you might not be the owner of the bank account. Okay? Let me prove I'm the owner of the bank account. No, not until you come back to Britain. But the police arrest me if I try and come back to Britain. They arrest me at the airport. What are you... give me another way. Let me go to a police station and have a policeman tell you that I'm me. Maybe a judge can tell you that I'm me. A solicitor, a notary public. Any one of these people, I can show them ID and prove that I'm me. I've got court documents that say that I'm me. Been in trouble a few times with the law. When you're homeless, you get trouble from the police, right? I've had a couple of court cases. I have court documents that say that I'm me. Is that good enough for you? Santander, Spanish bank in name only. I'm told the UK Army is an entirely separate entity, and whilst they do cooperate on some, if you're over here on holiday and you lose your bank card, you can go to Santander and they'll help you. In my case, they say they won't. I have to step into my branch in the UK. Find another fucking way. 3 years in a field, and it's your fault. And one day I'm going to prove it's your fault, and I'm going to demand compensation. Fix it now before it gets out of hand. I'm coming for you, Santander. Just like I'm coming for the police officer that kicked my dog. I don't make these threats lightly. It is a threat. I'm coming for you as an entity, as a corporate entity. Santander UK. You will bend to my will. You will give me my money back, and you will pay me compensation for 3 years in a fucking field. As it is said, so shall it be. Trust me. Cheers. Oh! I heard last week Santander UK will be closing in the near future, like there won't be an entity in 2 years. Really? Then they better hurry up and square up with me fairly fucking soon, hadn't they? Have you got all your savings in one bank? I had them in 2 banks, but during COVID, one bank ran out, and that just left my emergency fund, literally my rainy day fund. It was in. I used Barclays. I opened my Barclays bank account. Guys, get this. I opened my Barclays bank account in January 1989, and I'm still with them. But during COVID, I ran out of money. Before I came to Spain, I moved a certain amount over as a rainy day fund to a separate bank. Yeah, in case you lose, if I lost that card, oh, I've got this other card and I can still get money. It was you know what I mean? It was what's the word? It was a contingency plan. There's a good word. Especially after beer. That was a contingency plan. It was my rainy day fund. First time I come to use it, they said, oh no, we've closed that account because it hasn't been used. It's dormant. They declared it dormant. And I'm like, well, dormant means asleep. What are you? You never put money in, you never took money out. It's been 4 years, we closed it. It's my rainy day fund. Did you think I was going to have a rainy day every second fucking Tuesday? Of course I haven't touched it. It's a rainy day fund, muppet. The first time I have a rainy day and I fucking need it, you've stolen it. You've closed it. You tell me I can't have it. You've left me living in a fucking field for 3 years. I am coming for you, and you will not fucking like it. You didn't touch it, so we closed it. Fuck you. When I opened it, I said it was a rainy day fund. I gave them an email. You couldn't, in the year I opened it, like the November or December of 2015. I came out here February 2016. You couldn't open a bank account without giving an email address, right? They now claim there's no email address tied to that account. So when I was trying to prove I was me using my email address that they had emailed me on previously, they said there's no email address tied to that account. Unbelievable. Now, thanks to them not paying me, not giving me my money, it was a paid email address. It was part of my business. It was so first initial, second initial at first name, second name, consultancy.co.uk. It was my own domain name. But because they wouldn't let me have my money, I couldn't keep paying for it. So the email address has lapsed. Despite them emailing me on that email address, they told me they didn't have an email address on file for that account. Absolute crock of shite. Funds should be available no matter how long you don't touch it. It was an account where you paid an annual fee, and for my protection, like in case I died, they didn't want to just keep withdrawing a fee from the money. So for my protection, they declared the account like null and void, dormant, and took the money. They'll give it me back as soon as I present myself in what would have been the Morecambe branch of Santander. That's closed and gone. I would now have to go to the Lancaster branch, the city next door of Santander. The problem is, it's 50-50 wherever I go that I might get arrested, because the police have had a tendency of having, there's been a tendency of having a court case and not telling me about it, and then issuing a bench warrant for my arrest for non-attendance. We've had about, I'm not sure whether it's 6 or 8 arrests, and no further punishment at any point, because at no point can they prove they've served papers and told me about the court case. There's a 3-step process, 3 or 4-step process they do here before a court case. They mail you the details. Oh, there's going to be a court case in a month. Okay. A day or two before the court case, the policia local, the local police, come and you sign to say, yes, I know about it, I'm going to be there. The night before the court case, they will send a text message. Don't forget, 9 o'clock tomorrow at the court. And you have to receive that and kind of acknowledge or do whatever. It's monitored electronically, whatever. None of this ever happens for me. None of this happens. I go to the airport and they say, oh, court case last month, you didn't attend, you're arrested. Okay. How much extra is that going to... No extra, because we can't prove that we can't prove that we alerted you. We can't prove we told you about the court case. That has been my situation. Every now and again, the police will come and they'll demand my ID, and usually I refuse and don't give them any. But if I do, it's 50-50. They'll end up... If there was a court case that I didn't attend, there'll be a bench warrant for not attending. Sometimes they just take my details and everything's okay, because there hasn't been but they've never told me about the court case, and then they arrest me for not attending the court case. As a homeless person, this is an eventuality. This is going to happen. Anyone who is homeless for over a year is going to end up with a crappy criminal record for some shit or other. It's just how the bastards are. It's just how the bastards are. I've grown wise over the months, and I now get to tell them to fuck off, it's private land. You shouldn't even step on this land. Go stand on the road and talk to me. Right, I'm going in my tent, I don't want to talk to you. This is my routine now. Get them off the land, then tell them I'm going in my tent. I don't want to have a consensual conversation with you. You don't have reasonable suspicion of a crime to force me to be detained and have a conversation. I'm going. You go, get out there, fuck off, I'm gone, we're done. That's my new routine. Because now I'm more empowered. Now I have better understanding of how I stand. In the early days, they'd demand ID. I'd find some piece of paper or something I could give them, even though my passport isn't acceptable to them. That was the thing I was doing initially. I was showing them my passport. But my passport, I was told by the court, my passport was unacceptable. It's water damaged. It looks like it's been tampered with. It's unacceptable. Okay? If it's unacceptable today, then when your guys demand it in the fucking field, it's unacceptable. It's not workable. I've got it, but you're not having it. It's unacceptable. It's not acceptable to you. I'm not presenting it. Get the fuck out of here. I've since learnt that they only get to demand your ID when you're in public. And I'm not in fucking public. So get fucked. Go away. Private land. Tierra privada. I'm not in public. You don't get to boss me around. You shouldn't even be stood here. Go stand on the fucking road. That's public. You go there. I don't want to talk to you. Goodbye. That's my new routine. That should have been my routine from the start if I'd known my situation, my rights. I shouldn't even have allowed El Jefe, the chief of the Policía Local, who came out and marched around for fucking 2 hours. Wouldn't look at me, wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't meet my eye, wouldn't... When he asked me something, he asked through his underlings. I'm at the level of his underlings and he's up here, he thinks. I let him walk around this field not talking to me for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Fuck off. Private land. It's not my private land, but you don't know that. The owner hasn't asked me to leave. I might have the permission of the owner to be here. I might be the agent of the owner. I'm issuing an instruction for you to fucking leave. Get off. Go. Be gone with you. That's what I should have said to El Jefe of the Policía Local. And the next time, that's what I will say. Like a couple of weeks ago, when I was body checking the refuse collectors, the bin men. He comes walking through the field like he fucking owns it. Walking towards my stuff, looking at my stuff. I get in his way. And I say, ¿Qué quieres? What do you want? And I'm stood. I mean, I got my arm Not against his chest, but about an inch. I'm about an inch from his chest. Fucking para. Stop. ¿Qué quieres? Stop. What do you want? This far and no further. You shall not pass. Hola, buenos dias. I said buenos dias. Fuck's sake. Looked right at me and then ignored me. It's okay, darling. I'm getting less tolerant of ignorance. It is something up with which I will not put. If you look right at me, you know I'm here. And I speak to you while you're looking at me. And then you just look away like I'm scum and you're going to fucking ignore me. I'm going to have a problem with you. And you're going to have a problem with me. I'm the friendliest guy I know. But don't fucking disrespect me right to my face. What the fuck is that? Live chat. Let's catch up with chat. Okay, last comment was fun should be available no matter how long. So I'm up to date. That was Trish. Hello, Trish. I think you're new to me. I don't recognize the name, but hello. You're welcome here. And I'm sorry if I appear a little bit nousy, a little bit aggressive, a little bit. I guess the fact that it's the eve of me being 3 years homeless, I guess that's having a little bit of an effect on me. Maybe all the flies eating the bottom half of my legs as well isn't helping. The sun's down now. I think I can get rid of the I would call it a parasol. I would have always assumed that parasol would be a sufficient Spanish name. Para meaning four, sol meaning sun. But no, in Spain it's a sombrilla. It's only a parasol in other parts of Europe, like England. When I went to the shop and said parasol, the guy had no clue. He thought maybe I wanted something to block the sun from a car windscreen. Sombrilla, big shadow. Yeah. People often ask as well, let me show you this. So the sun's going down over there, right? And people often, whoa, sorry, misclick. I was trying to show that the sun's going down over there. And people often ask, do you get good sunsets? Oh, and the truth is, no. Usually, there just aren't enough particles in the sky. You can see the rest of the sky is just clear. There's nothing here. You need, for a sunset, you need clouds and dust and water vapor. Now there's a little bit over there on the horizon. We might get a mini sunset in half an hour or so. I'll keep an eye on it for you. But in general, if you want a sunset, you're better off in Morecambe. $1 million sunsets 5 nights a week through summer. Far more fantastic sunsets in Morecambe in Lancashire, north of Blackpool. You want to be in Morecambe for sunsets. Torrevieja, maybe you get one a month with a bit of pink, and usually not that much even then. So it's a thing. It's a tricky thing. Let me have a look here. Nobody's talking to me. Either nobody's talking to me, or sometimes chat freezes and I'm going to go top chat and then live chat and see if that adds. Here we go. Look, okay, there's one extra message. Thomas. Hello, Thomas. My Norwegian friend. who's not really called Thomas, but I'm not telling if you don't tell. Something, I'm not really called Mike. Something of a sunset here at, fucking hell, hold on. Oh. Je vil vatnet. If I say it backwards, if I record that and play it backwards, do we summon the devil or something? Gejevil Vajnet. Way up in the mountains, a bit too cloudy maybe. Sorry mate, I butchered the pronunciation, but I mean well, I'm only joking. Gejevil Vatnet. I'm fairly sure if we play that backwards that we can summon a demon. Could you get a porta cabin and plaster it with Union Jacks? That'll please the cops. Getting a porta cabin. I've got no idea how much they cost, but I would imagine you're renting them per month, yeah, rather than buying them. Also delivery. When you come off this, so you come off the main road and you come down this track, but there's a step down into the field from the track. Maybe if they could deliver it via, instead of a tent, if I had a porta cabin, if they delivered it via like a lift, like a crane. Although we've got a power line right overhead, so that might make it tricky. I'm not sure. The whole Union Jack thing, Union flag if it's not at sea. It's only a jack when it's on a certain mast. It's not even only a Union Jack when it's at sea. It's only a Union Jack when it's on a certain mast at sea. Just for a bit of education, because somehow I know things. I don't know why I know that or how I know that. I hear a lot of people say it's only a Union Jack when it's at sea, and they're not quite correct. They're half correct. But it is only a Union Jack when it's on a specific mast at sea. I'm sure we'll have some Royal Navy wonks in here at some point who can clarify and confirm for me that I am in fact correct. Because I know I'm correct. I just don't know what the mast is and what the circumstances are. It's a thing. I don't know why I know that or how I know that. I don't know how long I've known that. Probably since I was about 4.5 or 5. Tina, quiet. Hola, buenos dias. Hola. Hey. Tina, quiet. I'm never sure on when you switch to tardes and when you switch to noches. There doesn't seem to be like a fixed rule. So you know in England, if you say good morning and it's like 1 minute past midday, 1 minute past 12, you're going to go good afternoon and you're going to correct them. There's no rule in Spain for when these different words get used. When do you stop saying buenos dias, good day or hello? And when do you switch to good afternoon or good late is the more correct translation. Good evening, buenas tardes. And then buenas noches, I think not before dark. I don't think you go noches before dark. But also I've heard that there are regional variations just to make it even more bloody awkward. So who knows? Glasses in so that I can see what you're saying, or at least have a chance. It was good the first time, now you're overcorrecting. Hold on, let me go back. So I was close the first time I pronounced it. Je vil vatnet. Don't overdo it. I think I was trying to go more Russian with niet and stuff, maybe. Jevel, 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 Jevel vatnet, vatnet, net, not niet. We're not in Russia or Ukraine. Not yet. This time next year when they shh. Don't say that and upset everybody. Shush. Fuck off. Flying right at me. And now my glasses are I must have touched the glass. They're they're cloudy. Oh yeah, folks, we're on a kind of a fixed time tonight. I'm not going to overlap with Scruff Dog when he goes live. I'm not sure if it's at 10 or 10:30 tonight. I don't want to overlap. I don't want to compete against my friends. So I've got to keep a little bit of an eye on the clock. Where are we? 10 to 9. So we've either got an hour or an hour and a half. I'm not exactly sure because... Oh, fuck! Whoa! Well, that's a disaster. The biggest disaster is that I spilled some beer. Only a little bit. I caught it. Still on the first can. We're an hour and 10 in. An hour. Oh, wow. We're an hour and 11 in. Oh, look at that. It's showing me live, but it's showing I'm using the wrong thumbnail. 3 times I uploaded the fucking thumbnail for this video. I did a survey earlier for YouTube. I took every opportunity to tell them how shit their software is. If you're on Android only, if you haven't got a laptop to make up the difference, 3 times I set the thumbnail. 4 times I set the time that we were going to start. And that every time I came back in to make an edit to like the description or the title, it threw away the thumbnail and the start time. It's annoying. How many cans do you get through a day? 4? Maybe 5? Some days? Weekends, a bit more. I'll get a 12 pack on a Friday, and that will see me through Friday with a TH. That'll see me through Friday, Saturday, usually through Sunday as well. Sometimes I might go and get another pack if I'm going to do a TrampCast at night. So yeah, 3 or 4. Not, you know what I mean, not hundreds. I will, sometimes people come around and they say, I'll have a bin bag and it will be all cans. What they don't understand is that bin bag's been there 10 days. It's not, that's not last night. You know what I mean? That the bag full of cans is not one night. It's not even just 1 week. It depends. If someone brings me a 12 pack of beers that they've put in the freezer, I'll be honest, I'll try and keep them cold and get through them all while they're cold, so that I get in the benefit of cold. So I can go through 12 in, maybe not in a day, but in a day and a half. I can do that. I wouldn't ordinarily, but I'm a man. I drink beer. I can get through shit when I need to get through shit. It's a thing. I banned a guy once for asking a similar question. He asked it a lot more judgmentally. Whoa! What was that? I don't know what that was. But no, in the early days, a couple of people, I used, every time, I joke now that if I pick up a can I lose 2 subscribers. That's not quite true anymore. But in the early days, when I had I only had a few subscribers, I would attract, can I say Bible bashers? I mean, I'm a guy who needed help, and amongst people who are right-minded and who want to help, I would attract a certain element of religious folk. And they're all, God be with you, God bless, we hope well for you, God be with you. But some of them, especially from the Bible Belt, from the south of America, from the southern states in the US, they can be quite judgmental. And the idea that a guy in a tent is drinking beer, they will jump. They will put 2 and 2 together and hit 8. They don't even land on 5 or 6. They're way off. Oh, he's a tramp because he drinks. No, he's a tramp because his bank won't let him have his thousands of pounds. And he lives in a really hot country. And he's living in a polytunnel. His tent is like a greenhouse. It hits above 50 degrees, which is approximately 125 fucking degrees of your Fahrenheit. It gets hot. A cold drink is appreciated. If not a cold drink, then just a drink is appreciated. Loads of water, drink lots of water, 5 or 6 litres per day between me and the dog. Mainly drinking, but some washing and cleaning pots, cooking, etc. Some people are just really judgmental. And it used to really affect. Now I laugh with them and at them. Is that my friend Josie? Hello, Josie. Good evening. Hello. So yeah, do I drink beer? Yes. Do I drink alcohol? Fuck yes. If you bring me whiskey, will I drink it? Yes. If you bring me, as my friend Mark did accidentally a couple of weeks ago, what was it he brought me? What's it called? Tastes like cough medicine. Oh, schnapps. I can't remember the word. The picture is a deer with the antlers, a green. It's all in green with the big antlers and the big deer. Right. German-sounding name. Somebody tell me, what was it my friend Mark brought me? I drank in one day because I couldn't stop drinking it. That one was just too tasty. It was only a third of a bottle or a quarter bottle. It's small, but it went in one day. Someone will tell me. Jägermeister, it was indeed. Thank you, Josie. My friend Mark brought me Jägermeister. We didn't know that's what he'd brought me. He told me he thought it was whiskey. I drank it and knew instantly it wasn't whiskey. And then I drank some more, and then I poured some more, and then I poured some more, because it's just so tasty and so nice. I was like a 5-year-old let loose in the liquor cabinet. But that's rare. This is not a, I feel fine admitting this to you. That I am, a lot of people who don't know, if you're first time here, you're seeing a homeless guy in a tent and he's talking about booze. Okay, you're going to get the impression you're going to get, and there's not a lot I can do to change your mind. All I can say is that in a typical day, well, it used to be a typical day I drank nothing. I went months and months and months with nothing. I didn't have the money. I dreamed of buying a 12-pack of beer for Christmas. I dreamt of that. I hate dreamed. The word is dreamt with a PT because I'm British and that is the proper real way of spelling the past tense of dream. I dreamt of buying a 12-pack of beer back when a 12-pack of beer was €2.56. I couldn't afford it. Now, if you're in England, you're going to say, $2.56? That's not per can, which is what you're paying back there. That's for a 12-pack. So, when you're, like, criticising me, or when you've got it in your head, oh, this guy's drinking too much, he's drinking all... Whenever you see me do a live stream, I'll have a can of beer. Of course I will. I'm talking. I gotta keep my throat lubricated. I could make coffee. I usually mistime things and tend to make coffee and don't have one to hand. Or maybe I have them And I'm doing two-handed drinking. One cup of coffee, one beer, another cup of coffee, another beer. You've seen me do that plenty of times if you've been here a while. I'm happy to be judged by you. If you don't know me, if you're new here, you're going to get the wrong idea maybe. And that's okay. If you're a Puritan, you're going to have an idea about me that I'm going to disagree with, and either stick around or fuck off. It's up to you, I don't care. You're welcome to stay. I just don't want to hear the criticism that, oh my God, you touched beer. Of course I touch beer, I'm a man. I drink beer. I also drink wine, vodka, whiskey, brandy, apparently Jägermeister. But only on occasion. I've had the conversation, I've told you before about the couple that walked past one day and headed on up towards Mercadona, and I went to Mercadona, and we kept crossing paths. I'd overtake them, then my dog would stop and they'd overtake me, then I'd overtake them. I got there first and I tied the dog up and I got in. First item on the first aisle as you walk in is that case of beer that I dreamt of all those months ago. So I bought one and put it in there. I had enough money. People had sent me money and said, hey, buy beer. So I was buying beer. I bought a beer, put it in the trolley. These people walked in behind me and she nudges him and she says, see, I told you. Judgmental bitch. He's homeless, he must be an alkie. He's homeless, he must be a druggie. He's homeless, he must be psycho. None of the above. Yes, I like a drink. You like a drink. You're sat there with a glass of wine on an evening, or a glass of brandy, or a glass of beer, whatever your tipple is, or maybe you're of a herbalicious persuasion, and you're smoking, you're tooting on whatever you're tooting on, and that's okay by me. Don't be so fucking... He's homeless, therefore he must be. Methinks the lady doth protest too much. Let them talk, they drink more. Yeah, they drink more than me probably, yeah. It's like the judge on a Monday morning that's locking up the people for drunk and disorderly over the weekend. He was more drunk than they were, but he did it in his house, or at a dinner party, or at the opera, or at the theatre. He wasn't down the pub like the normal bloke. It's that. Some people are just... But when I heard her say, see, I told you, the reason it was the first thing I picked up in the shop wasn't that beer was my priority. It was the first item I passed in the shop. It was on my list. Don't get me wrong. I was there to buy carrots and potatoes and onions and peppers and spicy peppers and mushrooms, and I was in a proper full shop. But the first item on the first aisle, when you walk in, was beer. I'm trying to remember the brand name. It's their own brand. Mercadona's own brand. It's not going to come, is it? It's not going to... It's green. It's a lot like this. It's green in colour. It's got a Germanic kind of name. Steinberg. There you go. I gave myself a clue and helped me get there. Did you see that? I've talked about this in the past. I gave myself the clue of Stein, and that got me to Steinberg. I can't remember, is it called Steinberg or Steinberger? Mercadona's own brand beer. But yeah, that's the one. Hey babe, do I get a cuddle? Come here. No, you're going to stay there. I've got a stretch for me. Okay, you're worth it. I'll stretch for you anytime. I'll stretch for cuddle from my girl anytime. My girl deserves it. Steinberg. I remembered. Now, I've told the tale about how I used to have to do this in pub quizzes and things. I knew the answer, but I couldn't get the answer. Nobody else could give me the clue. I'd give me a clue and get there. Just like I did there with Steinberg. That fascinates me. That I can know that I know the answer but not know it, but then I can give myself a clue that gets me there. I think that's brilliant. I'm not saying that I am brilliant, but that process is certainly something to behold. When you catch yourself doing it, and it's on camera now. I literally didn't know the answer. I still managed to give myself a clue to get me there. Do you do that? Is that just a me thing, or does everybody do that? How do you give yourself a clue without knowing the answer already? But you know it. I don't know, guys. Is that fireworks? There's a thud in the distance. Tina sat upright. Tina hears it. It was like a volley of fireworks, but like at ground level, like popping in or on the ground. Don't know. Not sure. It's a little bit weird. Yeah, look, guys. I'll bring you back to the sky because we were talking about whether or not we'd get a sunset. There's nothing. There's nothing. It's maybe a little bit red over that way, isn't it? But that's not where the sun is. I know there's the Torrevieja sign on the building. But there's a little bit of oranginess creeping into the sky over there, I think you can see. Let me see if I can I zoom in on it a little bit. Maybe it goes away when I do that. There's a tinge of it, there's a hint of it. It's not your $1 million sunset though, is it? Oh, we're zoomed in on a Tina girl. I can't. I'm moving the chat rather than zooming the camera. There we go. There's my girl. Hey, babe. Hello, you. Hello, you. All right, and we're back. Thumbs up if you would, folks. Appreciate it. Don't subscribe. Do not subscribe. Not until you've seen 3 or 4 of my videos. If you're new here, if you've just been brought in because of, I don't know, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you're new here. I am a tramp living in a field. Let me show you that, I guess. There's a tent. You're looking endways onto a tent. There's a silver blanket thing here that was for repelling the sun, but as the main tarpaulin over the tent has come more and more this way. It covers more and more of it. There's my solar panel, which normally sits down alongside the cool box that it's sat on. But at midday onwards, I bring it up and lay it down on top. Here's the EcoFlow that is normally powered by my solar panel. That says it's on 96. Can you read the numbers? 96% charged. There's 7 watts coming out. At this rate, it'll do 41 hours. It can do that forever, basically. Here's my little electric tennis racket for killing the flies. And here's the field. As I said, I live in a field. There's a guy came on a couple of weeks ago and said, no, I don't. He said it was all AI. He's been here, and there's nothing here. which would be news to my friend Josie here in chat. She's been here. I was here when she came. I was taking down the old tent and putting the new one up, or I was about to. She came. I've still got the dog food that she brought. All these people that say that I'm not here, it's a lie. I do my best to laugh at them. Occasionally I get angry and threaten to rip their heads off, but that's because I'm a bloke, and if you call me a fucking liar, I might get angry every now and again. It's a bloke thing. I threaten either to rip heads off or rip limbs off. Snap your arm off and smack you around the head with the soggy end of your shoulder. That kind of thing. I've done that once or twice. Threatened it. Not done it. Threatened it. I'm human, folks. I'm human. I get angry if people call me a liar, call me a con man, call me a grifter, tell me it's not real, tell me I'm just doing it for the money. I do a lot of these, I guess these chats, these videos, and I don't even publish the donation link. I mean, it is there buried in the description. If you click through the description, go more and go halfway down. But sometimes I put in chat, but a lot of times I don't. I'm all right at the minute. Not only am I all right at the minute for cash, I've got friends in country. I've got friends just arrived. I'm not in need. If anything happens, I've got people I can call on. So I'm always more relaxed knowing that there are people here. I've got other people that won't be here until later in the year. I just had a conversation with Tom, for example, earlier. He's not getting here until the end of October. We've got multiple Toms, not Thomas that's in chat there, but and not Tom that's in the Shetlands. Different Tom, an Irish Tom. Too many Toms. We're all Tommed up. Anthony will probably stop by in the next few weeks. I'm not entirely sure when, but when he's in country, he often call on me within hours of arriving. Sometimes he's called on me before he's got home. Once or twice he'll like drop the missus off at home or something, and then come and bring me some food. But sometimes he's stopped off here before he's even got there. My friend Ismo will be here later in the year as well. So for now I'm good. Now I'm okay. I've had tough times. Some of the videos that stick out. I mean, we had the floods that wiped everything out, and I had nothing for months and months. I've talked about that many times, and I get quite maudlin when I talk about that 5 months, so I'm not going to do that now. We'll skip over that. But I've had times like where I did a video where I spent my last 10 euros. And I did like 3 videos out of that, I think. Not wanting to pad it out, but I did a video like, hey guys, I'm down to my last 10 euros. Here's what I think I'm going to go and buy. What would you buy if you're homeless? You're in a field. You got 10 euros. What are you buying? And I went out and then I did a video asking the question, and then I did a video planning out what I was aiming to buy. Now this was 2 years maybe after COVID, but the Ukraine war had happened and everything was going up in cost. So all of my plans went to shit as soon as I got in the shop. I'd planned on buying 5 kilogram bag of potatoes. I planned on buying carrots at £1 for €1. I'd planned on onions and peppers and, you know, things so that I could make soups and a meal maybe for 2 or 3 weeks with what I bought. And I got into the shop and I couldn't, the €10 wouldn't have bought 5 kilograms of potatoes. I had to buy 3 kilograms of potatoes. The carrots were almost €1. They were like 90 cents for half a kilo rather than for a kilo. Everything had just gone up like double. And I made this video, maybe I'll find it and link it for you. So I'd done the video saying, hey, I'm on my last money. Then I did the video, hey, here's what I think I'm going to buy. And then I came back from the shop and I said, fuck, look at what I bought. And as ever, you'd be amazed how often this happens. I tortured myself about buying the potatoes. The day after, somebody in one of these buildings at the top of the road leaves the country and brings me the remnants of their cupboard, whatever they've got left. So it's not a full bag of potatoes, but they bring me just what's in their cupboard the day they're leaving. And it's potatoes, it's carrots, it's onions. It's half of the money I've just fucking spent. They're buying me that same stuff. You would not believe how often that happens. Tina, quiet. Tina, quiet. Hola, buenas. Hey. Quiet. Shush. Leave the nice people alone. It's nice people just walking by. To Mr. and Mrs. and the 2 children. It's okay. It's okay. Nice people. They waved and said hello. That's how we tell they're nice. Hail fellow, well met. Where am I, folks? The picture's improving. I'm quite liking the contrast it's showing at this time. I haven't changed anything. I've not changed any settings. But that's a good, it did just, something changed. Something in the colour changed as I moved. But it's quite a good picture. I like that. Okay, is anybody talking to me? Not judging, just curious, no offence intended. And the alcohol question, no, I know, mate. We've been talking a while. If you were new here and that was like the first thing you'd ever asked me, I would probably have taken it differently. But no, we're all right. We're all right. I drink. I acknowledge I like a drink. Some people might assert I drink too much. I know that I don't. I know it's not a thing. I have... what can I say? I have family connections with people that drank too much. I helped out at a clinic, at a place that helped people that drank too much. I've been around people that drank too much. I've helped out in places that help people. One of the proudest moments of my life. I've told you that I saved the lives of policemen a couple of times. I'm very proud of those moments, even though with hindsight, I still think I did the right thing. But other than those, one of the proudest moments in my life was a lady in this place in Lancaster. And she was talking to me about how her kids have got, I don't know if it was Xbox or PlayStation, but they'd got a game that they were playing and they played it a lot, like all day, every day, if she'd let them. And one of my proudest moments was chatting with her one day, one Thursday or Friday, and saying, play the game. Play it with them. Get up this weekend, say Saturday. Don't just stay in your, stay in your pajamas and dressing gown, your nightie, whatever you're wearing, and just sit with the kids, play the game with the kids. Have a go. And when I next saw her, I think it'd be like the Tuesday afterwards, she was beaming ear to ear, such a big smile. She said, I did it. I sat with them. I had no idea what I was doing to begin with, but I played the game, and after half an hour I got a clue and I had an idea. And she said, within an hour, I was teaching them how to play the game better. She was beaming ear to ear. She said, she literally said it was one of the happiest days of her life, one of the happiest days she'd ever had. Just sitting there in her night clothes all day, kept the curtains closed in the living room, and they just played the PlayStation or whatever it was all day. It's one of the happiest days, one of the proudest moments of my life. I can't explain why. It's you got to be there. You had to be there. It's a connection between her and her two lads, her two kids. Obviously, she's been through things. The kids have seen her not at her best. But then they shared this day, a whole day together, because of something I said. You can't beat that. So just to go back, I've been around people that drank too much. I know what it's like when people drink too much. Don't get me wrong, on occasion I'll drink too much. The bottle of Jägermeister. I slept through probably the biggest storm that we've had in the last year. I slept through it, didn't realise it was happening. The doors weren't fastened and all the water came in the tent because they ran down the door and the door was inside. It took a fucking week to dry out. I drink. I like a drink. But I don't believe that I'm a drinkster. Draw your own conclusions, folks. I don't know. But one of the proudest moments of my life was talking with that lady and her journey from then onwards. Yeah. The sky's the same colour as here in Amsterdam. We had 30 degrees today. Yeah, I think we had a little bit more, but who's counting? It's not a competition. The day before the new tent, that guy was for sure blind. Oh, Fabrizio's in the house. I didn't see your. I haven't got my magnifying glass. I can't see that light silver on that light grey on a mid grey. I can't read it. Maybe 21:16. What is it now? 21:22. I'm 6 minutes behind, maybe. And there's no. It says there's no further chat. I'm just going to go top chat, live chat. Folks, if you're here, do not leave it set to top chat. Top chat will leave about a third or a quarter of the messages invisible to you. You want to be on top chat. I am just waiting. I've got no idea what time Scruff Dog goes live tonight. It's either 10 or 10:30. I will dip out at that point. I'm not competing against friends. That's not a thing that I do. This is just a night for me because tomorrow will mark 3 years homeless. I'm not sure I'll get the video out that I've been trying to get out. I'm not sure that I'll have it actually finished. I'm a little bit. I wanted to do different transitions and different effects and different things with it. It's basically my first. If you've not seen my first ever video, go and watch my first ever video. Click down below there where it says Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja. Click there. That will take you through to my channel. Click videos, and then there are buttons to organize them. You want to click oldest first, And the first one there obviously is my first video, my oldest video. And watch my oldest video. Tomorrow I'm going to replay that, because in all the times that I've told all you people, 1,600 of you, I think almost 1,700 of you, all the times I've told you to go and watch that, you haven't. It's had like 200 views or something. Okay, Scruffdog cancelled. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry about that. I guess I can keep rolling. We'll maybe keep going. I've no idea. I'll have to go. I'll have to make some food and make some coffee at some point. But I can do that. I can do that. He's cancelled. Is there a reason? His engine hasn't blown up, no? I hope not. Although I am sick to the back fucking teeth of that engine. I don't even know what back teeth are. What are back teeth? I guess it's the ones that are furthest back, the ones that you chew with. I haven't got any, so I don't know. I've probably never had any. But yeah, I don't know. I can keep going. Just a long day taking a rest. Oh, fair enough. He's a working man. He can take a rest when he takes a rest. Hey, babe, it's going dark, isn't it? It's starting to get that way. Let me see. Is this plugged in? I think this is plugged in. The tennis racket of death. Whoa, look at that. I turn on the tennis racket of death and straight away, snap, crackle, pop. Now, that might have been like a dead fly that was already lying in there. I've got a brush. I picked a brush up, a little hand brush. I picked it up at the bins a few days ago. I did brush through earlier because I noticed a few dead. There was the bodies of dead flies just sitting there in the mesh. In fact, I can still see one. I'm not sticking the brush in while it's turned on and live. They'd be dragons. 50,000 volts, folks. 50,000 volts. Admittedly, 0.00001 amps or whatever, but you know. Still don't mess. Don't mess. Here's a light which should have been plugged in and charging for the last hour and wasn't, for some reason. I don't know why it wasn't. Should have been. Could have been charging all this time. I'm gonna have to turn it on, aren't I? Because it's not gonna be that bright though, because it wasn't charging already. Whoa! I had my finger on the sensor for and now it's not. Why are you not? You're not taking the bright, mid, low, bright. Okay, that's its brightest. Last night I sat out here. I don't think I broadcast last night, did I? No, I think was recording? I think I was recording reactions. I had the bright light next to the tennis racket of death. The light attracted them in, the tennis racket of death saw them out. It was very snap, crackle and pop all night long till 2 or 3 in the morning. Why are you bringing the light? Don't worry, the light's on the left, the beer's on the right. There's no way in hell. I did drop the phone earlier and knock a beer over. You weren't here, farmer. Fabrizio wasn't here. I knocked the light, I knocked the phone itself over and knocked the camera. Minimal, we were at the end of a can, it was minimal wastage. I don't know. No, why are you bringing the... Okay. Alright folks, I'm scrolling back in case I've missed anything. You're quite quiet. If you're new here, and I'm guessing there are a few new ones just lurking, you have to come and get in chat. This is just a hangout. I haven't got any pre-prepared, was that even English? Pre-prepared topics. I've got nothing to go at. I'm reliant on you guys to keep me talking. Obviously, I've got the topic of the last 3 years, me being homeless, living in a field, how I'm a little bit bitter towards Santander. I've got a couple of touch points, a couple of touchstones to run with. But I don't want to be too pessimistic and too down. If you don't give me topics to talk about, I'll get myself in trouble talking about how I'm going to rip the heads off bank managers or something. In Minecraft. Not really in Minecraft. I don't want to dwell on the negatives, folks. If Tim Timoney was here, he'd be saying how I'm living the ideal life. Things are good. People send me money. I buy beer and food. He'll downplay the rats and the mice. Like I had a mouse on the bed, didn't I, the other night? There's a mouse in my fucking bedroom again. Well, there was that night. I need to check the traps and see whether we've got a dead mouse in the traps. I think the ants have probably cleared out. I put the trap in a place I can't reach, which is a little silly. But I wanted it to be a place. Mice have a habit of going. Mice travel around the outside edge of a room or a building. Only when they're really brave or really desperate do they go through the middle. But that means I had to reach out. I had to put my mouse traps in a place where I can't even see the mouse traps. I kind of had to drop them into place in the end. But the ants, my bait is. It's a ketchup, a barbecue sauce, ranch, whatever, mustard, whatever comes to hand. But over the course of a week, the ants will clear that out, and they're not going to trigger the trap, are they? They're too light. So that leaves empty traps untriggered, that the mouse just walks past. So I still haven't put all the traps out. I've only got 2 out. I've got to put the rest out, and I've got to rebait them every 2 or 3 days, I guess. Keep an eye on them. But it means putting them somewhere I can actually reach. They have to go somewhere I can reach, but somewhere that the dog can't reach. I don't want Tina getting her tongue snapped in half by a deadly mousetrap, and they are lethal. I mean, they don't. There have been no false positives. These things don't go off and not kill. These are. If these were man-sized, they'd be banned as like fucking against the Geneva Convention or something. These are the real deal. When they snap shut, I mean, they've cut mice in half. I mean, they have. And that's a good thing. There have been no instances like with the old mousetraps where the mousetrap goes off and I have to sit there for 30 seconds listening to the death throes, listening to shit. Try to carry on running around. It doesn't know it's dead yet. There's none of that. Boom, dead. That's a good thing. It's good for me and my mental state. I struggled with the idea of killing. When the mousetrap went off, and then I'd look and the thing's still alive, and I'd just have to wait for it to not be alive anymore. That was hard. There are videos, you got to go back 18 months or so. Go back, not the Christmas we just had, the one before, and a couple of months either side. I struggled with taking a life and with death. This last time, not so much, because A, the mice had literally fucking plagued me for 4 months. So when Adam and Mel bought me the mouse traps, I was just full of, let's exterminate these bastards, let's get rid of. They had been such a problem for such a length of time, lying there for 4, 5, 6 hours listening to them running around. Listening for them. Spending 12 hours while it's dark listening for them, even when they're not there. So when I got these mouse traps, fuck yeah, just heave-ho, let's go. I gloated. That first week, we killed 6 in the first night. None the second night, but 2 or 3 the next morning, after the morning after that night. And then 2 or 3 every day for the next week or so. Till they got the idea that they weren't welcome, or till we'd eradicated the entire nest. I don't know which, but we got them. But there was no messing, there was no listening to death throes. Thing snapped, thing was dead. And that, as bad as that is in some ways, that's a positive. It seems more humane. Just look, clunk, gone. No death throes. Cleaner on the mouse, cleaner on me, calmer. No, I'm not having to watch them and say, oh shit, I can't pick up and carry it out, I'll have to wait a minute for it to finish dying. Just dead, clunk, bang, gone. No false positives. It never went off and there wasn't a mouse there. I don't think that ever happened. Whereas the previous set of traps that exploded when there wasn't anything in and broke, those would go off if you looked at them wrong. The previous ones did kill the bird that time as well. That's not one of my favourite moments, looking back over this period. So I'd armed a mousetrap, the normal ones with the bit of metal and the spring and the, and the trigger. I'd armed it, and we'd had mice and rats running around outside the tent, so I'd put them outside. And then in the morning, I lifted it up and out of the way. Idiot. I didn't disarm it. I lifted it up and out the way. And a blackbird came down. Liked what it smelled, the ketchup, the ranch sauce, what barbecue, whatever it was. Pecked at it. Dead bird. But not dead straight away. Flappy, flappy, flappy. Dead bird. He didn't know it was dead for the next minute. So I come out and what the fuck is this? Dying bird caught in a mouse trap that I'd lifted off the floor and not disarmed. And I didn't know what to do with it. I tortured myself for half a day. Do I cook it? Do I pluck it, gut it and cook it? Because it's dead, let's not have its death go to waste. Or do I just put it in the bin and say sorry? I didn't eat it in the end. I still think I should have. But I was... Tortured isn't the right word. But that would be overplaying it. That would make it sound like a big wuss. But for 3 or 4 days, that was quite harrowing. That haunted me. That was a thing for quite a few days. Taking a life, even accidentally. It's even worse when you do it accidentally. When you're killing mice and rats, I mean, you're aiming to. That's the reason that you bait the trap, isn't it? That's the reason that you trigger, that you set it and bait it. So you're expecting to kill the mouse or the rat. But when you accidentally kill a bird, I think if it had been a pigeon rather than a blackbird, I might have been more okay with it. Definitely would have eaten pigeon in red wine. Is a dish. I mean, that's something we had as a kid. Pigeons are not big. You need a couple of them to make a meal of. No, but it's a blackbird. And it was alive still. It was flapping away. It was dying. It was in the death throes and flapping. It made such a racket because of the thing that it was hanging off. Quite harrowing, folks. Any cats there? The best mouse intimidators. There are cats in this field. And there was a lovely cute one, was it last weekend? Looked really young and small, really young. But of course, dog. I can't get the cats to come in close enough because dog. I keep trying to leave food out for them and attract them in, but how do you leave food out for the cats without leaving food out for the rats or the mice? Yeah, no, it's difficult. But there are cats, yeah. Oh! Josie's last cat loved mice. Or mouses, as she put it. Hold on. Cancel, just long day. Okay, let me move forward. It jumped. You sound like you've got hiccups. No, I haven't got the hiccups. No. Don't think so. I've only got the beer I've got and one more over here. If we do carry on beyond when I thought Scruff Dog was going to start, I might have to go back and when did I buy those? It was either yesterday or the day before. Not sure. There's plenty left. They're recent. It's a recent purchase. Mickey Mouse was visiting again. Yeah, I was sat on my bed and I was using the tablet. I was making an edit to something and I saw movement like in my peripheral vision. I was looking at the tablet but something, and I thought it was a fly or something. I kind of ignored it. But then I heard movement and I thought flies don't make a noise. And I look and there was this big-eared little fucking cute thing on the corner of the bed. I kicked my leg out. I tried to persuade it not to be there. But it jumped off my bed to the side and went around. Later on, when I came back in, I've got a roll of a kitchen roll in there. And it had nibbled at the kitchen roll. So I'm assuming it's in nest building. Whoa! I'm assuming it's in nest building mode. Nest building roll. It wants to collect ready to make a nest, so maybe it's swallowed lots of paper and it's gonna regurgitate it when it gets back to its nest to build its nest. There is a mouse hole. There is an entrance to a mouse nest nearby. I've poured, well, if I say water, I've poured water down there in the past, but not clean water. My water. I've poured noxious substances down the mouse hole in the past to drown them out. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna start doing that again this week or this weekend. I can't have, if I've got a mouse coming in my tent during summer, they're not even waiting for winter. Now, most of my food is away in plastic boxes and things, but I've got a big sack of dog food, Josie. I've got a big 18 kilogram sack of dog food that's just sat out. because I don't have a box big enough to put that in. There's already a 16 kilogram bag of dog food inside the box. So I've got to be a little bit careful of what I leave out and what I don't. So today, wanting to make food, I've brought out some, I think I brought out some mashed potato, some pasta, powdered soup, and gazpacho. Now the gazpacho, that's a plastic bottle, that's not a problem. And yeah, yes, I'm going to cook with what's supposed to be a cold soup. It's a good base to build from, shut up. But the powdered mashed potato and the powdered soup, the mice are attracted to and will go for that if that's left out. So I'm going to have to take note of that and move those into more protected areas. I'm expecting that this mouse didn't find anything other than the paper. But there are things, if it looked around long enough, it would find. And I don't want that. I don't want... I'm a tramp in a field. There are mice, there are rats. I'm not sure exactly how the mouse got in. I think where Tina's broken the door, where she broke the zip around the door, the bottom part of the door, the bottom 6 inches, what I call the skirt, doesn't stand upright anymore. That slumps down because we're shuffling in and out, bum shuffling over it. That's flat to the ground. They could have come in there. They could have come in on the wires and over the other door, the electrical wires for the solar panel and the EcoFlow. That's a possible. I'm not 100%, or they could have just tunneled up and through the floor somewhere like they've done in the past. I have to be on guard for this stuff. Because if they make a habit of coming in, if it was one mouse going on a solo expedition, just investigating and found nothing, no harm done. But if he's like the bridgehead or the beachhead for an invasion, I got to be ready. I got to have my mouse traps ready. I got to put them places where they'll work, but not where Tina, my doggy darling, gets to them for obvious reasons. Those mouse traps are vicious. They are evil. Like I said, if they were man-sized, they would be a war crime. They are not. They are not something to be fucking trifled with. They have big yellow fucking skull and crossbones warnings on top. Don't put your fingers anywhere near these. You don't bait them in the you take a little drawer, you unscrew a thing out and you put the bait in the screw and then you screw them back in. Your fingers never go there, because if you get it wrong, you're in danger of losing a fucking finger. They are, like I said, they've cut mice in half. They've chopped heads off. Where they caught one by the head, they cut the skull in half and blood was they're a messy business. You do not want to mess with these mouse traps. They are absolutely phenomenal. I'm singing their praises. If I had an affiliate link for Temu, this would be product number 1 that I would be pushing. I'd also be looking for the rat size version, for the bigger. Jack Attack tells me there's a bigger version of the same thing for Ratus. Take no prisoners, folks. Once you've decided you need to deploy a fucking mouse trap, don't mess about. Take them out. Take them out now. I thought about eating the mice, didn't I? I watched. Oh, he stopped doing them now. I've been a watcher. That's not the word. I've been a subscriber to. It's not called the Lost Boys. What's it called? The survivalist guy. He looks like a fucking bank manager or a solicitor, and he decided to do some videos on survival and He's got boys. He's not lost boys. He wanted to go off into the wilderness with his kids, but they've kind of aged out. They've grown up now. And it started to impinge on his real life too much. Millions and millions of followers, like fucking 10 million followers, 14 million followers, whatever it is. Outdoor boys, I'm going to go with. The outdoor boys. Eldest son's called Jack and has his own channel now. But he stopped doing them maybe temporarily, maybe permanently. Because he looks like a pencil neck lawyer or office clerk. He doesn't look like Mr. fucking Survival. Apologies, I can't remember his name, but let me work forward through comments and then see where you're at. I wouldn't eat an animal that was sick or you didn't know how they died. A lot of diseases can be transmitted that way. Cooking fixes most things. Get things above 60 or 70 degrees. Even Ebola dies at like 65 degrees Celsius. There's a big thing, I hear this all the time about boiling water, and you have to get it boiling, and it has to be a rolling boil for over a minute. Why? It's over 100 fucking degrees. What are you killing in that last minute that wasn't already dead? Most things died around 50, 60, 70 degrees. What are you killing at 90, at 95, at 99? Having a rolling boil with it being on 100 for a full fucking minute. What's dying in that minute that wasn't already dead? I think it's bullshit. Pasteurization of milk is like 65 or 70 degrees. You get it to that temperature and you leave it there for like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever it is, and then you cool it down quickly. You don't want to leave it in that warm zone too long. That warm zone's where bacteria can thrive. So you've got the hot zone where everything gets killed, and if you leave it to just cool naturally, it'll spend too long at 40, 50, 60 degrees. That's the danger zone. So get it hotter than that, and then quickly get it cooler than that. Job done. 100 degrees rolling boil for a minute. Why? What the fuck do you think you're killing in that minute that wasn't already killed at 70, 80, 90 degrees? There might be some extremophile somewhere on the planet that would survive it. The odds that it was present in your cup of water are fucking... No. Cooking. Get things hot. Get things dead. Happy Wednesday, says Nikki. Hello, hello. You're still outside, you're in a field, so definitely, absolutely, positively, you're going to have field mice around you. You'd be amazed, when I went in the caves with the guys that live in the caves, there were these nooks and crannies, there was these ledges built into the wall. There was mice scuttling around visibly and obviously right there, and in the caves by the sea. Mice, they're there, I mean, yeah. Well off the ground, but also any openings closed immediately. I'm going to trust, in mouse traps we trust. If they come inside, I have the mouse traps from hell. I have death. I was going to say personified, but that's not the right word because they're not persons. I have death embodied in these mouse traps. We cleared them out in winter. In summer, when there are less of them, we're gonna win easily. I just have to deploy them and be able to reach them to clean them out after. Hope everyone hit that thumbs up. Help share the video, and it's free. It is indeed, Nikki. Thank you. Are you a Nikki? Are you a male Nikki or a female Nikki? Are you? It looks like you might be a Clippy. I can't tell from the. Oh no, I can't maneuver in this particular interface. I've got moths coming around me as well. Needs to rain here. Where are you? Hold on. I'm working back. It's jumped. I'm working backwards to see. More a mouse guillotine than a trap. Kind of, yeah, yeah. Cold beer, hot soup. This thing of gazpacho, cold. It's alien to me. Cold soup. Why won't I just use it? Why won't I just heat it up and use it as the base for kind of a bolognese or something? Fry some onions, throw that in. I've got onions and garlic. Fry those, throw that in. Add pasta and mix. And I've got a little bit of mashed potato left over from another meal I can use for thickening. I got people coming this way. Tina's okay. Tina's okay. Tina's okay. All good. We're all good. Tina's okay. Shush, shush. Tina, quiet. Hola, buenos días. Buenas noches. Tina, cámate, amiga mía. Tranquilo. Tranquilo. Quiet, quiet. So I thought about now. Where are we for time? 10 o'clock. Yeah, I thought about now I would be handing over to Scruff, but I'm told he's not doing his thing. So I'm going to hang on. Folks, check out Scruff Dog anyway. If you've never heard of him, he's a friend of mine that has promoted my channel numerous times. I jokingly announced that we were racing to 1 million viewers or 1 million subscribers. I have overtaken him, so feel free to go and laugh at him. Scruff Dog with a single F. SCRUFDOG. I got it right this time. I said J earlier because I'm an idiot. I'm an illiterate idiot. I could read from the age of 2.5 or 3, but suddenly I'm a retard. And yes, I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to use all the words, folks. I've used all the words. Faggots. I say that quite often. Faggots are a meatball in the Midlands in the UK, somewhere around the Stoke and Bristol area. They're not even a spicy meatball. They're quite a plain, ordinary, gravy-based meatball. Faggot. I said it. I said nigger the other day as well. Just to let you know that I do say that word sometimes. Not at anybody, not calling anybody it. I would probably hardly ever, never, maybe, unless I had real cause, use that word in that way. But I say the word because I won't have my speech be policed. Policing speech is tantamount to policing thought. Don't police other people's thoughts. Tell them if you think they're wrong. Tell them if you think they got it wrong. Tell them whatever you want to tell them. But they're perfectly justified to turn around to you and say, fuck off, no, I'm not wrong. That's how words work. That's how language works. That's how thought works. Don't be that guy. You can't say that word. I can. I just did. And I've said it multiple times in the past month. I might get banned by YouTube eventually. Their choice. I'll just go to Kick, or to Twitch, or to Rumble. YouTube's policing of speech, especially when they were doing it under the auspices of government 5 years ago. The the disease of unknown origin or unspecified origin, we all knew where it came from. We all knew how it was derived. We all knew where it escaped from. But you weren't allowed to say it. You got banned because of a government deal. The Twitter files from Elon when he bought Twitter and released all the government communication that had gone on. The government policed speech as a way to police thought by the back door. Don't allow that idea to spread. Don't allow them to say that, because if they say it, someone else might hear it, and then more and more will think it. The policing of speech is tantamount to the policing of thought. Fuck that shit. Faggots, niggers, these are just words. Say words. Feel free to say words. Speak. Be free. Don't insult people and call them those words. I mean, that's a different thing. Look it up. Faggots and meatballs. The other word, that's a lot more controversial. I say it so you don't have to. I'm not saying it at people. I would never call anybody that. I did once. I've told that story already. But he was a con man. He was ringing me up from the Indian call centre trying to con me. He wanted me to install software and give him control of my computer, and then he would have had control of my bank account. And that's a guy that needs calling a name. We can argue about what name, but I used that name that time. I think the only time in my life that I've actually used it against a person. Don't do that. Certainly don't do that and say that I told you to. That's not my intention. I say these words just to assert freedom and to show that we should be free to... They're just words. They don't mean anything. They're not harmful. They don't hurt anybody. If someone takes offence, they took offence. I'll take a gatepost. And maybe we'll be able to encircle a building one day with lots of fence and a gatepost or two. You take offence, I don't cause offence. Maybe. That would be my protestation. That would be my... You're getting philosophy from a fucking tramp in a field. In a country where he doesn't speak the language. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you, but only if you've watched 4 or 5 of my videos. I think that's where I branched off somewhere on that topic a while back. I'm not for everybody. I can be controversial. I will say and do things you disagree with. You'll say and do things I fucking disagree with. What do you want to do about it? Have a fight? Or just accept that we disagree on some things and move on? That's the grown-up thing. I have friends that vote Labour. I have friends that vote Tory. I have friends that think Nigel Farage is the best thing since sliced bread. I follow people like Professor Tim Wilson who would disagree with everything I just said about all the people I just said. He certainly wouldn't say some of the words I just said. But I like him. I would sit down and have a beer with him. I would. Professor Tim Wilson, go look him up on YouTube. He's fairly big. He is, without doubt, my biggest subscriber. He follows my channel. I don't know whether he watches any of this rubbish, but he is subscribed and he has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. He is, without doubt, Professor Tim Wilson. I disagree with almost everything he ever says. But I admire him. He's very eloquent and erudite. So let me explain those two words, because some of you won't know those words. Eloquent is speech, fancy words, expressing things well. Erudite or erudition is thinking clearly and thoughtfully and thinking well, being thoughtful. He is eloquent and erudite. A good combination to be. Almost every day I will post a comment opposing whatever he said. But that's all right. I can live with that. I could sit down and have a beer with him. I don't know whether he drinks beer. I could sit down and he's a proper real professor, not just... This isn't, I teach in a college, therefore I am professor. This is proper real professor. Doctorate plus years and are not acknowledged in your field. Proper real professor. Disagree with him. I called him a lefty. I don't think I called him a lefty idiot, but I called him a lefty one time and he said, I'm no lefty. He is. I mean, I'm from Arthur Scargill country. It's about as left as you get in Britain. And he's left of me. Now the whole world has kind of moved that way, and I'm right in the middle, I think. I think sometimes I'm right-leaning. I find that quite frightening. I am now. I didn't move. My views, I believe in the welfare system, the NHS, public education, free, you know, all of that. We should have free dentists. That's all gone. But a lot of the migration and stuff that's happened, and the piling of foreigners into the NHS, and the migration into Britain, I'm right of centre on those topics. And I find it quite funny. I find it quite... frightening wouldn't be the right word. Frightening's not the right word. I'm smelling insects cooking on the tennis racket of death. But, yeah, okay, yeah, there. I already knew it was there before it went snap, crackle, pop. It was already frying. Where am I going with this rambling nonsense? I don't know. Politics. Professor Tim. Being able to sit down and talk with people who think different to you. To debate, discuss, not fall out. Not declare that the other guy's a dick and you're never going to talk to him again. We've lost that. A lot. So many people are unable to entertain friends who are on the other side of the divide. I've never fallen out with someone in like a permanent way over a viewpoint. We're all entitled to have our point of view, express it, try and persuade the other person of it. But if they're clearly not going to be persuaded, then let it go, drink a beer and move on. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you fall out? Why would you end up with fisticuffs in a car park over vote Labour or vote Tory? We all know they're all a bunch of scum and that we've got no real power until they come begging once every 4 years or whatever it is, 4 years, 5 years, whatever they come begging for our vote and then immediately ignore us and go against our wishes for the next 4 or 5 years and then rinse and repeat. Why would I fall out with my best friend over something some fucking politician said or something he did? It's not going to happen. Not on my watch. That's my perspective. Let me go. Let me see where you are. I like my beer cold and my soup hot, said Thomas. There was Nikki introducing herself to everybody and everyone saying hello to Nikki. Thomas, congratulations, you're normal. Beer cold, soup hot, yeah. All credit to your parents, even if they were outliers. Okay. More a mouse guillotine. I did read that one a moment or two ago. Little Nicky. That's the devil's kid, yeah? Okay. I don't know that I've ever seen the whole film. Probably just snippets. Yeah, that's... What's the temp now? It's 22 here. I've got to look around and find where my tablet is. I suspect we're not going to drop below 25 tonight. It's 27 currently. Okay. At 7 in the morning it will dip as low as 24. And by 8 it will be 27 again and climbing. 27, 29, 31. Yeah. We're not gonna dip below 23 degrees in the next week. Not at all. It's August, it's Spain, it's summer. Give it another month, the middle of September, there will be one day where we will get a thunderstorm. The temperatures will drop below 20 and they will stay there for a little while. I've got about 8 moths and flies and things flying around here. I'm going to see whether I can put the tennis racket of death closer to the light. I've got to move the coffee. Powdered coffee. Polvo. What's that? Oh, that's a spoon. Don't put the tennis racket on top of a spoon. That's an uneven surface. Spoons are not level. I don't know if you know this, folks. Spoons are not something that are very level for putting things on. My tennis racket of death, it's sideways on now, look, but it's next to the light. So there's about 2 inches in between. It's a little bit deceptive here, but it will start catching them shortly. Well, it already did. You heard the one snap, crackle, pop. Oh, look at her. You want to be on camera, don't you? She wants to talk to the peoples. I'm going to have to... No, it didn't take the click. Here it took the click. Here she is. But here's... I gotta move the light in. Hey, babe. Tina. Hey. You want to talk to the peoples? Hey. Hello, babe. Look at you. Oh, yeah, it's a lovely cuddle. I always like it when you let me do that one. You like that one, don't you? Under the chin. She's always been a little more afraid of on top of her head. I guess because when she does something wrong and gets a smack, it goes on top of the head. Approach her from underneath. She's, yeah, there's a girl. She has got her lead on today, but it's not tied to anything. If you can see, it finishes there on the floor. It's just... Yesterday I took it off entirely. I left the lead off. I take it off now, babe. You don't need that, do you? You're not going anywhere. No, that didn't work. Let me take that off. Hey, babe. Step over. Good girl. Okay. You don't need that. That's just in your way. Hey. We got a car coming down the road very, very slowly. Why is he doing that? That's always very suspicious. Can you see? Watch how slowly he's moving. It's very slow. Very slow. Does he think I'm going to mug him or something? I don't know. I don't understand. It's a road. Why would you come down it that slowly? Brah! Got you by the nose. Okay, let me put this back here and stop jabbering. Let me put that back up there. Look at that. There's, can you see this? No, you can't. There's a fly sat on the plastic of the fly killer. Waiting to be zapped, but not committing. Waiting but not committing. Very clever fly. He's not falling for it. Okay, folks, we're on 19. The record for thumbs ups, in case anybody wants to know, the record is 37. Or it might be 38, depending on how you count them. If we get closer, when we get above 25 thumbs ups, I will regale you with the story of why 37 might be the record or might not be the record. You got to get me there, folks. Hit that thumbs up, and I will regale you with tales of my online adventures. I guess that's not a real thing. Fuck. Sometimes I just talk myself into a corner. I don't know. Have I mentioned that a friend told me that I could never be a YouTuber? I don't have a voice and I don't have a personality, apparently. Oh yeah? I kind of agree. But 1,600 other people disagree. So I don't know what to make of that. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know why any of you listen to me. I've got no clue. But God bless you and God love you. And I'm an atheist, so I can say that. Fuck. I just talk myself into bigger and bigger corners, don't I? God bless you, God love you. I'm an atheist, so I can say that. Where do I get this shit from? I'll make it up as I go along. Tina whispered it into my ear. It's not my fault. It's okay, babe. It's okay. No. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. Daddy's here to protect you. I got you covered. Yeah. Death to the flies and the mosquitoes and the moths. Let me go scrolling. I saw a dead mouse. This is Thomas. I saw a dead mouse on the footpath today. The ants were at it, but what puzzled me was there was mould on it as well. Fur had gone white, so it's been there a while. It's breaking down, it's got mould, and then the ants come along as well. Great movie, Farmar. I think we're talking about Little Nicky. 24 degrees in Amsterdam. That's quite warm. My friend Karen's arrived in the country. And she's warm at last. She couldn't handle the UK. At no point was she warm in the UK. August, and she's putting the fucking heating on, I think. She'll have to confirm that herself, I'm not sure. I think I remember her stating that she might put the heating on. I'm not sure if she actually did. She'll have to, if she arrives, needs to rain here. Where are you, Nikki? I'm guessing you're in the UK, but I maybe I've missed something. I'm going to go top chat, live chat. Folks, live chat. If you're here, you need to be in chat. Whether you're here now or whether you're watching on a replay, chat. I don't always read out the messages. I don't always read out the names of the people. Sometimes I reply to them without you need chat open and visible. I try to cater to you in case you've just got this. Maybe you're in a workshop or maybe you're cleaning the house and you've just got this on in the background and you're not watching the screen. I try to communicate who's saying what. I do my best, but what was it Tammy Wynette said? He's just a man. Yeah, you know, I do my best, but in the end I am just a man. She also said DIVORCE, but That's a different story for a different day. Fuck knows. Where do I pull this shit from? I have no idea. She also sings about the ancients of Moo. Likewise, that's a story for another day. Because the people who wanted her didn't want her. They got the wrong singer. They wanted Dolly Parton. And they're just a brain fart. They got Tammy Wynette and booked her and got her, and yeah. The Angels of Moo, that's them, yeah. They're justified and they're ancient and they drive an ice cream van. That's them. And they sang with Tammy Wynette. And it was after she arrived. They'd done all the bookings, they'd talked to her, they got the flights, they brought her in, got hotels, and it's only when she started singing they thought, that's not her. That's the wrong one. They'd been thinking Dolly Parton. They'd booked Tammy Wynette. But she was a game old bird and she went with it. One of her last songs, I think, she was quite old at the time. They're justified and they're ancient and they drive an ice cream van. Yeah. They had the wrong singer. Rings a bell vaguely. So around the same time, what the 808 State sang some nonsense as well. If I'm remember, was it KLF? KLF, Justified Ancient. Are they the two guys from Rotherham? I think they're the two guys from Rotherham that said, hey, this music's easy, we could do that shit. And so they did. They also burnt £1 million in pound notes, back when we had pound notes, or maybe in tens, and I've no idea what denomination. But they burnt it, allegedly. If you keep the metal strips, you can claim the money back from the Bank of England and their insurance and what have you, got it all covered. But then people hypothesized maybe they didn't burn the money. Maybe they made an extra $1 million by not burning the $1 million. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Best guitarist ever, Jimi Hendrix. I read, not Jimi Hendrix. Whose autobiography did I read? A son called Connor. Fell out of a window. Eric Clapton. I read Eric Clapton's biography. I'm no expert music. I know nothing. I don't know good music from bad music. I'll be honest. I was amazed when I learned that, like, the first 8 notes of like Bar Bar Black Sheep or what's the other? Jingle Bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells. The first 6 or 7 notes are all the same fucking note. Ba ba black sheep. I didn't even know. I'm no good at music. But I liked Eric Clapton's biography. I tell you, possibly the best biography I ever read was Rod Stewart's. I was amazed later to learn that it was like ghost written. I thought it came across as so personal and personable. I thought he was talking to me. The Rod Stewart autobiography is probably the best autobiography. And we can argue about whether it's actually an autobiography if he didn't write it, if it was ghost written. It's the best biography or autobiography I've ever read. And I read Matey Boy over in America. One of the founding fathers invented libraries. Kite, key, lightning, invented gas, street lighting, invented public libraries. What's his fucking name? Fuck. His autobiography is in two halves. Before the war, the war for independence, and after. And they're very, very different books. They're very different tone. Ben Franklin I'm going to go with. And nobody got there before me, I don't think. No, Jimi Hendrix. See, I've taken a turn, haven't I, from Jimi Hendrix to Eric Clapton, off to Benjamin Franklin. Carnegie. If you're talking about make friends and influence people, he's not the real Carnegie, is he? He's not the one with the billions, the oil baron. He's a bloke who changed his name to be similar. That's a good book, How to Make Friends and Influence People. It's a very good book. It's just not quite true. There's the other guy who wrote like 27, what's that called? 27 laws to live by or something, 20 something, somethings to something by. Ben Franklin, let's go back to Benjamin Franklin. What a guy. Quaker, so religious but not a settled religion, not like Catholic or Protestant, independent if you like. Had the same opinions of me the moment he tried to read the Bible as a kid. Just looked at it and said, how can you be over 7-year-olds and believe this puerile nonsense? Adam and Eve are the only two people on earth, and they have 3 or 4 kids. Those kids grow up and get married. Hold on, wait a minute now. They do what now? What? They're the only people on earth. They have 2 kids, 2, 3, 4 kids. Adam, Eve, Seth, I can't remember. Sorry, Cain, Abel, Seth. I can't remember if there's a 4th or more. Obviously there's the whole Cain and Abel thing. Let's not even go there. But these guys grow up and get married. They do what now? To who? How? You can't get past 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. You can't get past that. You can't read Genesis and just say, hold on, wait a minute now. Do what? And we're all just expected to ignore that and move on. He couldn't get past it. I likewise couldn't get past it. So I agreed with him and I liked him immediately. Within the first 3 or 4 pages of reading his autobiography. He thinks like I think. He thinks what I think. Therefore we're the same. Ish. He was a master manipulator of people as well, though, Ben Franklin. He had a set of coins he put in his pocket, and each day he had to praise people. Each time he praised people, he could move a coin from one pocket to the other, and he had to like take 10 or 12 or 20 coins, whatever it was. He had to move them from one pocket to another. Hello, Miss Daisy, I really like your hat. Oh, hello. Oh, I've always admired the way you do this. And just butter people up every day, because one day you might need that person's help and you want to be friends with them. Master manipulation. If you want to make someone your friend, this was one. Don't like suck up to them and do them a favour. This is one of his major ones. This is a biggie, and you can learn from this. If you want someone who is like on the other side, if you want them to be your friend, don't suck up to them and do them favours that they haven't asked for. Ask them to do you a favour. You ask them, can I borrow that book? This was back in the day when books were, in America, books were like impossible to come by. They had to be imported from Britain in the pre-Revolutionary War or post, in that period, in that entire 60, 70 years. getting books they were rare. He wanted someone who was an opponent, someone who was on the other political side. He wanted to make that guy his friend. He didn't suck up to him and do him a favour. He asked the man to lend him a book. Oh, I heard you have a copy of whatever the book was. I'm really fascinated by that author and by his thoughts. Is there any chance you could loan it to me just 3 days or 1 week or whatever? And the guy would, you know, he didn't want to be impolite, so he'd lend it to him. But now he's done him a favour. You're not going to think badly of the guy that you did a favour. That would cause like cognitive dissonance, as it's called. So you're now more likely to think well of the guy, even though he got you to do him a favour. Obviously, you give the book back in good time and in good condition. Master manipulation, folks. This is real. You'll learn from this. You could implement this yourself now in life. Start off with 25 pence pieces in your pocket. And you can't stop complimenting people until you've passed one coin for each compliment. You got to pass a coin over to the other pocket. Do these things. Go around complimenting people all day long. Go around asking for them to do you. Don't suck up and you do them the favour. Ask them to do you a small favour. Just a small favour, not big. They're not going to lend you £1,000 or anything. Maybe they'll lend you 10 pence or 20 pence. Maybe, you know, get them to do something for you. Make it good. Make it, and they will think better of you than they would before. And even though you might be like political opponents, you might be on the opposite side of a controversy or a debate, they'll still think good of you. Ben Franklin, folks, the inventor of the public library, the inventor of gas street lighting, or at least not the inventor of, but he improved it by putting air vents in the bottom. The glass bulbs used to get all sooted up. He came up with the idea of putting slits in the bottom for airflow, so they would get sooted up a lot more slowly and need cleaning less often. Public library, though. That's something. It was by subscription. Conscription's the wrong word. By subscription. So this was a library not owned by the government or a council or anything, but all of the rich men in a town. So you've bought a book, you've had it shipped over from England or from Europe, wherever it's coming from. You've read it, you've had a week or 3 or a month, and now you put it in the library. So other people can have access. Everybody pays 5 cents a week or whatever it would have. I've got no idea what the money would have been at the time. Go and read Ben Franklin's biography for the details. But he was the inventor of the public library, the public subscription library. Didn't he also invent the fire service? I do think he did. I do believe he did. A bunch of people on standby, on call to be called out and come and deal with fires in the event. Again, by subscription, by payment. Via insurance companies or not, I don't remember. But I think he invented the fire service. He's quite a guy. The first half in particular, the first half of his autobiography it's a wonder to behold. The second half left me feeling disappointed because it wasn't the same as the first. He was older. Would I say he was bitter? I don't think I would say he was bitter, not quite that, but he was a different man. He was a different age. People had died because of his thoughts and his feelings, he'd sent people to their deaths. They'd had a war, and people had died. So he was a different man. But I would still say it's the best. Take the two, whether you take them as two halves of the same book or whether they're two books, if you like an autobiography, Ben Franklin, all the way. Probably the best, I think. Well, I said about the Rod Stewart one some moments ago. The Rod Stewart one spoke to me on a more personable level. But that's maybe because it's now, and Ben Franklin was 1770, what the fuck, I don't know. That's 250 odd years ago, isn't it? Or it will be 250 years ago next year, maybe? $1776, yeah? Independence. So that would make next year 250. I might be pulling that number out of my backside. I don't know, folks. It's not my specialist subject. Let me scroll back. 48 laws of power. Was it 48? Is that the... Has he upped the number? Has he added to that? I did read... I read it and I had the audio book. It didn't catch me in the same way as like Ben Franklin or Sun Tzu, however you're going to pronounce that. Someone's going to tell me I've mispronounced it. Sun Tzu, that's another one. I mean, is that 3,000 years old or 2,500 years old? That one goes back a ways. Appear weak where you're strongest. Appear strong, or pretend you're strong where you're weakest. The best way to win a war is not to have a war. These are words to live by. And the philosopher Tramp is here to educate you and give you a reading list of books to go and read. Sun Tzu and the Art of War. It's possible that the whole book is what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word, it's not going to come. Not anachronistic. Apocryphal. It's possible that Sun Tzu didn't exist. In the same way it's possible Marco Polo didn't exist as a single person. He might be an amalgamation of multiple travelers, adventurers, discoverers. One of my favourite arguments in school, me against the entire class, as always, detailing an interesting fact and having them say, no way, no way. And then they'll get the teacher, teacher, miss, he says this, is that right? And she's like, no. Oh yeah, he was right. Italy, pasta. Pasta was, after Marco Polo had done the China thing, Kublai Khan? Or I think Kublai Khan rather than Genghis Khan. Kublai Khan. Anyway, after Marco Polo's done the China thing and come back, he had the idea of noodles. But he didn't have the right flour. They were using rice flour and obviously Italy didn't have rice. But spaghetti, pasta is because Marco Polo. Gunpowder, fire. Italy's famous for the firecrackers everywhere. Gunpowder, Marco Polo. Ice cream. Italy's famous for its ice cream. Marco Polo, 12th or 13th century. Comes back from China with all these tales about how you can keep things cold all winter. If you take ice off the rivers and make a room cold, you can actually keep the room cold all year long by burying it in like a root cellar but with ice and ice cream. Those three things. ice cream, pasta noodles, and gunpowder. Marco Polo, China, 12th or 13th century. It's the reason that Italy's famous for those three things.